guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. So today I wanted to talk about something super interesting that actually came to me in a client session. So Holly, if you're watching, because I know you watch my videos, this is all because of the revelations we had within your session. And after coming away from our session, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to talk about this more. I need to do this as well. And I think I've been doing it unintentionally for years. But I was like, no, this is a thing. This is a thing. And I think this could help a lot of people who are feeling in the same situation with their manifestations. So today I wanted to talk about why it is so important to prepare for your manifestations and how we shift our mindset instead of being that taking action and pushing and, hustling towards your desire, and actually switch that to receiving and preparing for its arrival. So how this came about was in one of my lovely coaching client sessions recently. And she came to me and she was like, I still can't feel at peace with this waiting, with this in between. Like, I feel like I'm surrendered and let go, but I just, like, these thoughts still come up and I just can't feel 100% at peace. So she was like, Emma, I want you to intuitively guide this session. Let's find where the blocks are. Let's clear them. And I do use my intuition anyway within sessions. And I very much am like, there's something in your root chakra. When did you last balance your root chakra? Like, to anybody. So, I do use my intuition a heck of a lot. But some of the time my clients like to ask and say, right, go with the flow, let's go with your intuition, where do we need to go? Which is fine, I'm happy to do that. So after some digging, I was actually like intuitively feeling like, I don't think these beliefs are actual beliefs. Like, we had done so much inner work, amazing inner work. And Holly really is an A-star student for this. Like, she turns up, she does the work, she's been phenomenal and has seen phenomenal shifts because of that commitment and because of her hard work. So I was like, I don't think this is real. I don't think this is a limiting belief. And I said, you realize that right before your manifestation arrives, like when you're on the cusp of something, is normally when your ego, inner child, inner critic is the loudest. Now, I want to put a disclaimer with that, because obviously if your inner critic or your ego, your inner child is having real limiting beliefs and fears, yes, you absolutely need to address them. You do need to do that inner work. That doesn't mean your manifestation is right on the cusp. It still could. But what I'm referring to here is when you've done the inner work. And sometimes, and what I've found myself with my own manifestations and my clients as well, particularly Holly in this instance, is that when you have a big desire, which has been the big forefront for a while, you've put so much time, energy and healing towards it, you've done the work, you've shown up, you've had to heal a lot of limiting beliefs and fears around it, and you're seeing those shifts. Because as I said to my client, it's not the limiting belief that is stopping you from feeling at peace. Because when I asked her, I said, how safe on a scale of 1 to 10 does it feel to receive this desire? It was a 9. And I was like, well, look how freaking amazing improvement that is to start off with. Like, that is like a massive, reward for all the hard work you've done, because, it got up massively from when we first started working together. So when you can check in with that, and this is a great indication of whether it's actual real limiting beliefs and fears, which you actually need to work on, or whether it is what I'm about to go into. So ask yourself, how safe does it feel to receive your desire on a scale of 1 to 10? If you're 7 or above, you're fine. If you're a 6 or below, inner work needs to be done. This step isn't going to quite apply to you just yet, but it will eventually. So with that, I said, okay, why do you not feel, what is that 1% that you do not feel ready to receive yet? And she said, it just feels overwhelming, like it would change my life forever. And I was like, okay, change, here we go, the inevitable change. And this is what our ego, our inner child, our inner critic resists, is the very change that it knows needs to happen to receive that desire. And think about it, when you've worked so hard for something, whether it's a desire or you just worked hard for something in life, when it comes about, it can feel scary, because it's almost like you've clung on to that inner work, that desire, that need, that it's been your focus for so long that almost like when it's here, you're like, what am I going to focus on after this? Like, do you know what I mean? It's almost like creating that space, and the ego and the inner critic is like, oh my God, that space is created, it's going to be here, and then what do I do after that? So this is why those thoughts are coming up. This is why that negative self-talk was there. And after we'd explained this, she was like, you're right, like I don't feel it's intense at all now, those statements, like they've just dissolved. So this is how you know. And also another really important reminder to stress here is that you are never going to be 100% healed, whole, complete, perfect when your desire comes in. And I think this is, again, another trap that we fall into, and one I had to remind myself of with, and this, you know, having this whole kind of experience with my client reminded me myself of this as well, that sometimes we want to be those perfectionists of like, the reason why it's not here is because we have all this stuff to heal. Oh, there's a belief, when, like I say, it's not actually a limiting belief or a fear. It's actually just that inner, you know, the inner child, the inner critic ego resisting the very change it knows is coming. So it's almost like putting you into that panic mode of like, oh, there's still work you need to do, when actually we're never gonna be 100% perfect. We're never gonna be 100% healed whole, or never have any thoughts again. Like, we are human. You are going to have thoughts. You are going to have potentially negative thoughts, but your comeback rate is everything. And also, you're going to learn on the job as well. Think about it. Whenever something's manifested in your life before, you've never been 100% prepared and ready. Never. You learn on the job as well. And I think that's what we all need to remind ourselves of with this video as well, is you're going to learn on the job. When that desire comes in, there could be extra healing that needs to happen. There could be extra layers that come up, not in a negative way, in a releasing way. So think about it, like, you are never going to be 100% perfect. You're going to go in and learn on the job as well. There's going to be experiences, there's going to be lessons and blessings to learn with those manifestations as well in your life. We have to stop that perfectionism as well. And it's so easy to do when you've worked hard for something. Like, believe me, when you have cleared so many beliefs and blocks or whatever, it is hard because you're like, well, surely I should clear that, and surely I should clear that, when actually sometimes we have to just sit back and be like, do you know what? I've done my time. I have done my half. I have done my bit. And really what this was for my client, and what I realized in myself, and what I also said to my friend, and why I think this is so important to share with you guys as well, is shifting that mindset. Instead of thinking we're still in that step 3 and in that trusting where we need to take inspired action and we're still working towards something, is when we know something is on the cusp, when we can feel it is on the cusp, we have that excited anticipation and we know it's on the cusp of happening. And that's why that resistance is coming up, is the resistance of change rather than actual inner work that needs to be done. We have to shift our mindset into receiving and preparing. So this then moves into the 4th step, letting go. So obviously we know what letting go and surrendering is. If you don't, definitely do watch my videos on this. It's a very important step. So with letting go and surrendering is also like that acting if process. So if your desire was coming to you, you would prepare for it. Instead of sitting in that trust step, in that waiting room, in that, oh, you know, I just can't feel at peace with waiting. Stop, let go, surrender, and prepare for its arrival. If you are feeling that excited anticipation, if you are knowing it is on the cusp, start preparing, right? And as I explained to my client, I have done this so many times in my life. I have gone out and bought things for things that aren't even that close, and people are like, you're mad, you're like, why are you doing this? Like, this is so risky, like, what? And I think my friends and loved ones just accept that's what I do now. But there are a lot of times people were like, hang on, you should probably hold off buying stuff, yeah? Are you sure? And every single time the manifestation happened, because I knew in my intuition, in my soul, I prepared for its arrival, and I switched my mindset from pushing and trying to, you know, work towards something to actually receiving, opening my arms up to receive from the universe and preparing for its arrival. So it is a mindset shift. This is what we need here, and this is what, you know, my client needed to hear, I definitely needed to hear, and my friend as well. So I'm sure many of you will also need to hear this. It's a mindset shift. We have to stop thinking we're still in that step 3. We're still having to push. We're still having to clear and do things too, otherwise it would be here. No, 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 no. Prepare to receive, prepare for its arrival. So what I set my client to do, and what I actually ended up doing myself afterwards, and getting my friend to do as well, and I'm gonna get you guys to do it, is to write a list of what you need to prepare for its arrival. So this could be really practical things. It could be, you know, like eating healthier, like getting your body in shape, feeling confident within yourself. It could be like looking after your appearance. I know that sounds silly, but just small things like that. For me, it was like clearing out my house, decluttering, just so I like had that fresh energy in my home to be able to welcome in these manifestations. It could be a decluttering exercise. It could be an organizing exercise. Think about it with a baby. Like when you get pregnant, you don't just like, you know, at the 9-month mark as you're giving birth, be like, oh, we better do the nursery now, like we better like, you know, get a bed, get some stuff, like it's probably gonna need some clothes, like yeah, we should probably get some stuff for the baby, right? You don't do that. You have 9 months to prepare. So you do the nursery, you get the essentials, you get the baby clothes, you get everything, and you pack a hospital bag knowing that at the time your water breaks and you're going to go to the hospital and meet your new baby, that you have everything ready. You have, like, obviously not everything, like it's impossible to be 100% ready, but you know, like you take your hospital bag with your essentials and you're ready. You're prepared for its arrival. Well, the baby's arrival, not its arrival. It is more in reference to manifestations. So this is what you need to get your mindset into, of prepare for its arrival. This is part of acting as if, and it's preparing to receive. Now, obviously you don't want to go OTT. Like if you generally don't have the funds to, you know, sensibly prepare for its arrival, then, you know, your manifestation's arrival, then of course you need to do what feels good. Always do what feels good, but do it in ways. It doesn't always have to involve money. It doesn't have to always involve buying things, right? So think about it. If your desire was to happen tomorrow and knock on your door tomorrow, or call up and be like, hey, I'm here, or whatever, if your desire was like, I'm coming tomorrow, what would you need to have in place to be prepared for it? Prepared for its arrival? Like, you know, as I said to my client, you don't want to get that call and be like rushing around like, oh my God, I got all these things to do, because that's not preparing for its arrival, right? Like you want to be prepared. You want to be like, I've got my ducks lined up. I've got my hospital bag ready if you're having a baby, like whatever. Like, you know, you want to know that you are prepared. You are preparing for its arrival. And like I said, I've done this so many times unintentionally, but now I'm definitely doing it intentionally, because I see the importance of this, and definitely why with bigger manifestations this is so important, like so important. Think about it with money. If we were to pick a really easy manifestation that you know, some people would say is more of an easier manifestation. If you were manifesting money, you would think about how you would spend that money. If it was for a project, you might say, right, let's find some furniture, let's find some stuff online of what we're going to spend this money with, and like when we manifest it. So you're already preparing for its arrival, because you're thinking about ways you can spend that money. You're thinking of like, right, when it comes, I'm going to get that sofa, I'm going to get that bit of furniture, whatever the money is for. Maybe you're planning that holiday, working out how much it's going to cost, and you're preparing for that money's arrival to hit buy. So even with something as simple as money, you are still preparing for its arrival. Can you see here? Like, think about your easier manifestations. How do you prepare for that arrival? But with our bigger manifestations, it can be harder to almost like shift from that pushing and working and co-creation process where we're going over 50% of the way, to actually stop, shift the mindset into preparing to receive. Like receiving, preparing for its arrival, like making sure you are ready for it to come. And this advice is when you know it's on the cusp. You don't want to do this part too early, otherwise you'll still be in that waiting phase. So again, you want to make sure you're like feeling it's on the cusp, you're witnessing that it feels safe to receive that desire, and you're ready to then prepare for its arrival and be like, you know what, this is coming. And I can help myself out now by preparing, making sure I'm in the best place possible with everything I would need to, you know, be as prepared as possible, so that when it arrives, I'm not stressing out, I'm not freaking out. It can be an enjoyable experience where you're like, knew it. So my main takeaways for you guys today is to definitely shift that mindset. The mindset is everything. Of why are you resisting the change, the very change that you know needs to happen. So again, it's almost like preparing for that change, like that change energy is there. And the ego, the inner critic, the inner child is like, oh my God. So again, it's like reassuring that and like saying, do you know what? This is the change I've wanted, and change is exciting. Change is positive. Change is what brings about miracles, new beginnings, and abundance. So how can you prepare for that change? How can you feel at ease with that change? And do your list. Once you've written your list, action it. Do those things. That is what you can be working on right now. And another really good example of this is with my friend who came to me with one of his desires that he was manifesting, and he showed me some stuff towards it, and I was like, why are you doing this? Like, if your manifestations comes true, like, which it will, I know it is happening, why are you doing that? And let me give you an example of that. I'm not going to share his personal example there, but what he was doing was wanting a coffee cake but putting in the ingredients for a chocolate cake. So this is my analogy here of, if you want a coffee cake, why are you putting in the ingredients for a chocolate cake? Like, if you are still taking action towards, should we say, like to the past, or maybe in that previous position you've been in, you're not preparing for its arrival. Stop. Like, he didn't need to be doing any of this. This was his control side, thinking like, right, I'm gonna do what I can, prepare for this in August. I was like, why are you doing this? Like, it's not happening in August, if like when your manifestation comes in. And also, you don't need to do that, because again, this manifestation is going to take care of that. So he was still putting in those chocolate cake ingredients but expecting a coffee cake. So that's another really important thing to witness here, is don't put the wrong ingredients in the cake. You know, you want to be making sure that anything you are doing in this interim time is adding to the coffee cake, is adding to the cake you want to bake, is adding to the manifestation you know is on the cusp of happening. So don't be taking previous action or even action to a plan B. You know it's there, you know it, like the plan B is just a knowing that that is there. You don't take action towards it, you just know it's there. But you're still making your plan A cake, your coffee cake. So put your coffee cake ingredients in, guys. Don't be making a chocolate cake and expecting a coffee cake. So I hope this video has really helped you guys. It definitely helped me that session, and it definitely helped my friend, and it definitely helped my client. So I really hope this conversation has helped you guys as well. If you have felt in that same space as us, and we all needed that helpful reminder of preparing for its arrival and letting go of it, shifting that mindset into receiving and preparing for its arrival. And there are still so many great things you can do that feel good to prepare for its arrival and to, you know, ease into that energy of change that is around you right now. So thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all, and I will see you in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love, guys.